Awesome. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. New York?
Yep. It's going to be some background noise. There's going to be some motorcycles and honking.
That's okay.
Trains and people.
So tell me who you are.
So my stage name is Dr. Hedonia.
Okay.
I'm a drag and burlesque and draglesque performer.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that name?
Yeah, so Dr. Hedonia, you don't have to call me all of that. You can call me Anne, you can call me Doctor. I actually prefer Doctor because I don't get called that in real life that often. But I am a doctor, kind of. Not the useful kind. I have a PhD in neuroscience, which is
That sounds
fun.
very useful.
It's not. Well, it's not. It's not like the useful kind. It's like that. Anyway, it's fascinating. I love it. But also, though, I left academia, so I'm not even using it anymore.
Oh, okay.
But so Dr. Hedonia, the doctor comes from that. The Hedonia, pretty specific reference, but it's so Hedonia is the medical term for the inability to experience pleasure. So like not, then Hedonia, like hedonism, like hedonism. And it's a symptom of major depression, which I do have and have had for a really long time, most of my life. So it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek way to reclaim that, but then also to be a little the hedonism of it all, like the surname being Hedonia and being like pleasure, and that because that's really what performing is, and especially my style of performing. Yay, mental illness of it all.
No, I like the idea of reclaiming it with your performance.
Yeah.
A performer identity.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you tell me about your career?
Yeah, so it's pretty new. So I've been performing since December, I think. So yeah, we're coming up like 6 months. We're coming on 6 months. I feel like I should be better for 6 months.
No, you did great.
I feel like when you say like, oh, I've been doing this for like 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, people are like, oh wow. I've been like 6 months. You're like, yeah, we've had enough time to.
Are you doing it every day?
No, I'm doing it like once a month.
So this you've done it 6 times.
This show, but I perform primarily drag, but also burlesque, and also the intersection of the two, which we call draglesque or queerlesque or whatever. But I like I'm really drawn to the storytelling and the exaggeration and the over the top aspects of drag and of burlesque. So that's kind of what I do.
Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about what community means to you and what the queer community means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So community is so historically it's something that I've been fortunate enough to have, but especially now it's really, so community is really the reason that I've kind of become a performer, is that I here in New York have a wonderful community of other queer people, other performers, and so speaking of my career, and it really all got started because of my drag and burlesque mother, Coco the Pup. Shout out. Hi, Coco. Love you, Mom. So who really was a friend first, and I've always been very drawn to drag, and I've always been an enthusiast, and I would go to shows as often as possible, and then I really got pushed into it by somebody who, a friend of mine who was like, I think you would enjoy this and be good at this, and you should give this a try, and I would never have done it on my own, so they really pushed me in. So that was, and then I always have the imposter syndrome, and always like, oh, I'm not talented enough to do that, or alternately, I'm not queer enough. I think that's something that a lot of people, because like I definitely, I don't know. I feel like I'm very straight passing. Other people are like, no, I don't know. But anyway, but I always, I do want to recognize my privilege, and but it's been really wonderful having people tell me like, no, you are valid and you deserve to be in these spaces, and you're welcome here, and you have something to say and a contribution to make and to be part of a community. That really, really means a lot to me. So I grew up in the South, in the Carolinas. Also went to Catholic school, which is like a double whammy. But in school, my friends were very much the queerdos and the outcasts in the region. We were all, but we, and I'm still friends with all of them, which is great. I feel like a lot of people, I still have really close friends from elementary school, which I feel like most people lose
I don't even
contact
have
with
any close friends in
like
high school.
Yeah, people lose contact, and I think it was we trauma bonded. But you know, so but I am also really fortunate enough that I've got a really wonderful, accepting family. So a bunch of my friends still to this day call my mom
Aww.
because there was a time where they might still not call, they might not have a biological mother that they have a relationship with, but my mom kind of stepped in and fulfilled that role.
That's really nice.
I would always have like the queer friends who didn't have good relationships with their family, like coming over to our Thanksgiving instead. You know, it was really special. So that's something that, again, it's always been there. And I was very much a late bloomer, but having that has always been there, and it's always kind of been part of my identity, which is really nice.
Okay. Oh, while we're here,
yeah.
Who was your queer awakening?
Okay, so I have a lot.
Understandable.
I don't narrow it down, but so the one that I'm portraying for our upcoming show is Poison Ivy.
Yes.
Who I think it's the classic queer femme dilemma of do I want to be her or do I want to be with her?
Classic.
Because she's like who I want to be to a T. She's also like who I want to be with to a T, which again is like I guess I'm kind of a narcissist that like my type is also what I aspire to. I don't know. I will not get too into that. But so she's great because she's also a scientist. She's also a PhD scientist, really, really smart. She's also really sexy and really fierce and really confident. And she's also really principled, and she stands up for what she believes in. And she's like, whenever people call her like a villain or a supervillain, she's like, no, like I'm just trying to save the environment. Like you're the ones who are ruining it, and don't put labels on me. And anyway, she kills a lot of people, but you know, they probably deserved it. So she's pretty great.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to try to embody some of that like confidence and sexiness, and also maybe murderousness. We'll
yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love a villain. Love a good sexy villain.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't love a sexy villain? You know, who doesn't love a sexy like?
All right. You said you had a lot of queer awakenings. Was there anything else that you want to touch on?
Because I was kind of, like I said, a late bloomer and kind of like didn't really understand what it meant to be attracted to in a queer way. A lot of it was kind of like, ooh, I just am really drawn to this person and I really want to be them. So I think there's a lot of that. Basically, like. I'm trying to think of like
there's so many.
I know. There's weird like
any obscure?
Okay, there's like some really obscure like historic figures that I could get into. Okay, so one of them is literally the namesake of my pet snake.
Okay.
She was like an ancient Macedonian empress who like was really badass, and anyway, may or may not have been part of a snake cult. We don't really know if that was true or if that was just propaganda, because men at the time didn't like the fact that they had an empress and they had to listen to what she said. I've always been really into costuming, and specifically historic costuming, which is actually something that got me into performing in the first place, because it was kind of like I've always liked dressing up and having excuses to dress up, and performing as an excuse to dress up. So I was always like, I think actually some of my first queer awakenings were like in school, and you're looking at the old like formal portraits of the women in just like the beautiful like really tight corsets, and they're just looking so severe, and they're like, and I'm like, yes, that vibe. Okay.
What was your first costume?
My first costume
that you made?
Yeah, it was Ren Fair.
Ren Fair.
All my like weird, nerdy, queer, dorky friend group. Yeah, we would go Ren Fair, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually like do some research and do it right. So I did like a Tudor costume that was not like super historically accurate, but it was cool. Yeah, so
nice. I say love your nails.
Oh, thank you. This is one of the reasons people always think I'm straight though, because I have long nails.
You gotta have the two. You know,
there's other solutions.
I just meant to showcase.
Yeah.
Anyway, last question. Is there anything else you want people to know about you or your act? Something special that means to
You saw my last performance. I've learned the value of pasties this time. Nipple covers. Yeah, the girls will be a little bit better contained. Because again, I'm new at this. Like, I'm still figuring it out. Like,
figuring it out.
Well, so here's the thing. So like, I've always done, like I said, costuming. So being in like tight corsets and like huge hoop skirts, like huge powdered wigs.
Things are contained.
And I'm used to like, but like, yes. And also like, I'm used to like going around and being in those for like hours, like, you know, like having to go through doors sideways and stuff. But I'm not used to like performing in them. I'm not used to like all of the
fluidity.
Yeah, and the movement that you need to do. So I'm like, when I test these costumes, I'm like, yeah, this works. And then when you're like moving around in it, you know, things move and things pop out. So I mean, it's a learning experience. But I'm very grateful, learning a lot about, you know, what kind of performances I find the most rewarding, that I enjoy the most. I'm still just kind of figuring out my whole performance persona and all that, but it's been really fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it more and growing more, and I'm just really grateful to be part of this show and be part of this wonderful community and perform alongside so many really, really talented people.
Yeah, I'm always so impressed.
Yeah, and I've like made wonderful contacts and like talked to people even after the last show, like who've given me really wonderful advice, and so yeah, just looking forward to continuing to learn and grow.
Cool.
And so cut me some slack because I'm new.
There's one more questions I want to squeeze in.
Yeah.
Anyone that inspired you?
Yeah, my drag mother, Coco. So again, sorry. So like, shout out. Like, if you don't follow them already, you should. They've got like so many followers. They're kind of a big, but it's something that I found so rewarding, and that all my friends were like, oh yeah, like that makes sense that you're doing drag and burlesque now. Like, it's kind of weird that you weren't already. It just suits you. But they're so inspiring because they are so multi-talented and just such a sweet person. And so, you know, just like, and also just care so much about other people and care so much about giving back to the community, whatever. But yeah, but it was wonderful. So they performed in like the church service, and then also had drag brunch afterwards. And that drag brunch was incredible because it was, there were all people, it was everybody there, right? It was like there was a lot of people there who were from that church. And then a lot of people there who were just from the broader community, just want to come to drag brunch because it was great. And like there were older folks who you know, there were people there who like raised their hand when asked and said like they'd never been to a drag show before, and there were like little kids or like toddlers who were just like so like dancing along and like wanted to touch Coco's like tutu and everything. It was really cute. So it was just anyway. So what it like. Coco and other performers like that really inspire me because they bring joy to so many people, and they also expose people to new ideas, and they also use their platform to kind of like be really radically themselves and themselves or water themselves down to make themselves more palatable to other people. They're like, hello, hi, here I am, I'm talented, I'm beautiful, I'm lovely, I'm sweet, and accept me or don't, but if you don't, like, that's kind of on you, you're kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But mostly it's the joy, the queer joy, and so that inspires me so much. I hope that I can, again, the world needs more queer joy more than ever, and community, and but also just exposing people to new ideas and getting people to try something new and interact with people that they maybe wouldn't. And yeah, so.
Wow. Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's nice talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. And thank you so much for coordinating this show. I'm so excited for this show. I'm so excited, like I said, to just be welcomed into this community, and then also excited to, it's going to be a great show.
Awesome.